Sit your ass down and
Sit your ass down. Sit your $5 ass down before I make 10. Man, sit your ass down.
Yes! It's that special time of the week where we sit down, we give a credit to people who refuse to get out of their own way. Just really lean in to their dumb ideas. And, well, we need to tap them on the shoulder and say, excuse me, ma'am. Excuse me, sir. And sit your ass down. Look, I'm pretty sure you guys saw this first one. When it comes down to sit your ass down. This guy he's a favorite. He's my man BK's favorite. And he should have won. According to him, he should have won. But Jussie Smollett. Jussie Smollett. You ain't say it right. Is Jussie Smollett.
Yes, Jussie Smollett.
Took the 2019 Sit Your Ass Down year, but this man says second place ain't good enough for him. The first Sit Your Ass Down this week, Rudy Giuliani.
Oh Lord.
Rudy has done a lot of dumb shit, but I'm a little afraid that I try to watch the news roughly an hour a day.
I hate watching the news.
And I mean total. Whether that be right side, left side, outside, like my guys like
house, in-house?
No, I'm talking about outside news, like the BBC or the Independent or things like that. But according to Rudy Giuliani, and only Rudy Giuliani, the whole Black Lives Matter movement is just a convoluted scheme to take your house. His house, specifically. Let's go to the clip, please, from Fox News.
His house, but continue.
Plain to every American who can see through the propaganda that Antifa, Black Lives Matter, the communists, and their allies are executing a plan they wrote about 4 or 5 years ago, including Black Lives Matter. They want to destroy our government. They wrote then they want to do away with the police. They want to empty out the prisons. They want to internationalize our government. They want to do away with our system of courts. And they want to take your property away and give it to other people. This is a orchestrated effort. It is no longer a protest about Mr. Floyd.
Right.
That ended a long time ago. People who say they're favorable to Black Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter wants to come and take your house away from you. They want to take your property away from you.
Yeah.
They want to let criminals out of prison. All criminals out of prison.
Groups that are aligning themselves.
And they're anti-American.
I don't know. I just stopped it right there. I don't know how you equate equality. I mean, even in the title.
I'm gonna let you finish. I'm gonna give me a cold beverage. I feel something.
Even in the title, Black Lives Matter. Yo, we matter because we deserve the same rights as you guys. We're not trying to take your crib. Rudy, why is it so hard to treat somebody equal? Is it because by doing so you gotta kind of realize that you probably haven't been doing it?
You have to acknowledge your fault and your what is the word? Is it complicit?
Yeah.
Complicitness?
Will it be complicitness? Will it be
you have to
direct?
Acknowledge those things. And
Rudy,
one thing that I'm learning about in this climate is people do not like to be held accountable. And to white people, that I'm not saying you currently own slaves, but you cannot sweep things under the rug as if they never happened. You do yourself a disservice, and you are being willfully ignorant to issues. You just are.
and then on top of that, Rudy, my man, we don't want your crib. We don't want yours. We don't want.
I mean, you got a nice house in the Hamptons, but I mean, you need to do some gardening because it's a little lackluster. But
amongst many things, Rudy, if you want to boil down Black Lives Matter to someone trying to take your crib,
I don't even get the correlation though. Like it doesn't.
I don't know how they.
How does one correlate with the other?
He sprinkled in Antifa in there.
You cannot mix all of these things up right now.
But for right now.
And put them in a mixing bowl and say this is what it is. You need to focus on the point. What is the point of Black Lives Matter? And I bet you he can't even answer that.
He don't want... Hold on. I don't want to say it like this.
At that point, you are woefully being ignorant.
No. He can. He don't want to. But for right now, Rudy, man, sit your ass down. All right, here's another one. And we've been kind of like weaving around this one. This was... I hope I pronounced this young lady's name right. Reagan Askew.
You need some help with that one.
You tell me what that says. Askew?
Escuday?
Okay. Those who don't know who Reagan is a Turning Point U.S. ambassador who Trump invited to speak on stage Tuesday at the Phoenix, Arizona mega church. And then she talked about her experience with cancel culture. And Reagan, she wanted to dip into her own personal experience. Reagan, earlier this year was canceled, air quotes.
All right.
Because, and fired from her job for giving a biblical response to social issues. Meaning, like, somebody asked her about social issues, and she started quoting the Bible. Now, that isn't necessarily why you're getting sit your ass down, because I wasn't there. But at the same time, cancel culture, you know, it is what it is, and they didn't want to hear it. They didn't want to hear that bull from you. So, as their employer, they have the right to let you go.
Yeah.
However, she then, Reagan, if you're looking at this screen right now,
oh Lord,
compared herself in the struggles
sure she did.
to Nancy Green, the original Aunt Jemima, a slave.
I'm gonna assume that Mrs. Eskew.
No, wait for it. And then equated how Nancy Green, the original Aunt Jemima, is the picture of the American dream. Let's go to the clip, please.
Oh, the privilege.
Aunt Jemima was canceled. And if you didn't know, Nancy Green, the original first Aunt Jemima, she was a picture of the American dream. She was a freed slave who went on to be the face of the pancake syrup that we love and have in our pantries today.
Okay, let's really break this down. Aunt Jemima, Nancy Green, American dream.
I feel myself getting upset.
Because you got canceled. Okay, so the woman who was a former slave, who was a slave that was good at making pancakes, and then became the face of servitude and breakfast foods for at least 2 centuries later. Okay, and that is no, that's not the American dream. That's exploitation. Unfortunately, you took the act of someone who did something one time, and now it made it their identity. That's not an American dream.
Were you chained to a table, being forced to make pancakes for your slave master?
I even do this. I don't know what your job was, but you're not your job. You're not that thing that defines you that one time 4 centuries, and then is the blueprint of what your entire race is supposed to be. That's not the American dream. Reagan, you got canceled. Shake it off. You deal with it. You come back. Really, a cancel ain't even a cancel. A cancel is like, let me give you your, and this is an extreme example too, but I want to use a person to describe your version of right now of cancel. And this is like, this person got it worse than Reagan, but let's just go with it. Monica Lewinsky. Monica Lewinsky was a 26-year-old girl who wanted to sleep with a powerful man.
He was throwing that neck.
And she did. And her last name, Lewinsky, was now slang for fellatio.
Throwing that neck.
It is 2020. Monica Lewinsky got to be in her 40s by now. She got to be...
I wonder how exactly how
she got to be in her 40s. She is just now kinda, sorta coming back.
She's almost 50. She's 46.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you had to be, because she was 26 when she did it. So she's just now coming around the bend where that's before the internet, where we can, quote unquote, for lack of a better term, not equate that act with her. That's 20 years. You compared yourself to Nancy Green, the original Aunt Jemima, who was publicized and now is a name of servitude, and we are, if you listen to the last story, still looking for equal rights. So Reagan, ma'am, you quoted the Bible, and your manager just had a tiff with you, and you got fired. You're barely canceled, if you are canceled. I don't understand how you're canceled, but you're asked to speak at a presidential rally. Reagan, you're not Nancy Green. Sit your ass down.
Bye, Mrs. Eskew.
And look, my last sit your ass down, I gotta tell you, you know, when we record on short weeks like this, I know the holiday season's coming up, and sometimes people usually on their best behavior.
Not really.
You can always look to the great state of Florida. Florida, if you ever
Florida's doing the most.
If you ever just need it, I need a quick sit your ass down, or I need a quick podcast topic, or I need, just Google the word Florida
and hit the news tab.
And Florida gave with two hands this week. Whether it be
Florida
COVID,
is the gift that keeps on giving.
Whether it be baseball opening up, and it would be our third sit your ass down. Palm Beach, Florida. I don't want to call them Karens. Residents.
Oh, they're Karens.
We're in the tizzy.
Call them what they are, Karens.
They were in the hissy fit because these Palm Beach, Florida Karens just don't want to wear a mask in the heart of COVID. I have 4 clips from 4 different Karens. Let's go to the first Karen. Here we go.
You literally cannot mandate somebody to wear a mask knowing that that mask is killing people. It literally is killing people. And we the people, are waking up, and we know what citizen's arrest is, because citizen's arrests are already happening, okay? And every single one of you that are obeying the devil's laws are going to be arrested. And you, doctor, are going to be arrested for crimes against humanity. Every single one of you have a smirk behind that little mask, but every single one of you are going to get punished by God. You cannot escape God. You cannot escape God. I'm going to say that again. You cannot escape God, not even with the mask or 6 feet. Okay? 6 feet, like I said before, is military protocol. You're trying to get the people to train them, so when the cameras, the 5G comes out, what? They're gonna scan everybody. We got to get scanned. We got to get temperatured. The kids have to go to school with masks. Are you insane? Are you crazy? I think all of you should be in a psych ward right the heck now, because none of you know what the hell you are all talking about. This is insane. And then you want to open this meeting with a prayer to God. Are you praying to the devil? Because God is not listening to that prayer, because all of you are practicing the devil's laws. What happened to Bill Gates? Why is he not in jail? Why is Hillary Clinton not in jail? Why are all of these pedophiles that are demanding you all to listen to their rules, why are they not in jail? Oh, is it because you're part of them? Are you part of the deep state? The deep state is going down, and if any of you are in the deep state, you're going down with it.
Okay, I want to play a first clip just to show how adamant this young lady is. Now, I want to tell you where she was speaking. I want to play that clip first because.
And you know the funny thing.
Hold on, just don't get ahead of me. All right. She was speaking at a town hall event in Palm Beach, Florida, urging Palm Beach, Florida residents, hey, look, this corona thing has got out of hand again. We need to, before we shut down everything again,
curtail.
We need to flatten the curve for real. And the best thing we could do about that is putting on masks. That's it. And since it's a town hall meeting, anyone who stays in the residence of Palm Beach, Florida, can get on the mic and say their piece. Now, this is government officials, scientists, people who are their entire job is to stop people from not dying. And you got that response from just wearing a mask. Guys, maybe it's because I stay in Michigan. Maybe it's because we actually did that. Maybe we're not at the level of COVID, which is interesting. On the same day she gave that impassioned speech, COVID in Florida, the state of Florida, not just Palm Beach, broke a record of 9,000 new cases when she gave that same speech. All because you don't want to wear a mask. The mask is this. Worst case scenario, if I got it and I don't know it, I saved you from it because I wore the mask. If you got it and don't know it, you saved me from it. It's common courtesy. I can breathe. Best case scenario, I look like a Mortal Kombat character. I look like, anime characters we was talking about earlier. I look like one of those. And this is coming from a guy who unwillingly wore Jabot, who wore Major Damage.
What's wrong with Jabot?
A guy who he dove into wearing the emo culture wristbands, all the little stuff that was fads at the time that did not save a life, or possibly was the magnet for some harassment I got. Just wear a mask, save a life. Now that's the first clip. Now I said at the start of this,
and I want to throw this little tail on that.
There's 3 more Karens.
I know. That Karen, surprisingly, the first Karen was not a white woman. So if you had that question, she's not.
It was worse. It's just Karens are not a race thing.
But they're predominantly Caucasian.
Well, let's go to this predominantly Caucasian Karen right here.
They want to throw God's wonderful breathing system out the door. You're all turning your backs on it.
Okay. No one's saying stop breathing. Again, every mask I've ever worn, I could breathe in it. That's the whole point of masks. You can breathe. We just don't want your germs hitting us. Let's go to the
another thing with these masks, I need people to understand, and I'm not picking on white people.
Here we
but
go.
Y'all are habitual personal space invaders. Y'all don't know.
Yep. This is third Karen.
So masks
it is appalling that each and every one of you sitting up there as human beings, part of the human race, the only race that we have, would suggest to muffle people, to put masks on our face. There's not enough to make this a pandemic. This is a planned demic. This is totally political, and you know it.
Okay.
100,000 people are dead, and it's not enough.
Okay. How you can't? I want to say this.
As a person,
it's a damn mask.
As a person,
let it go.
Who lost a relative to this? I'm sorry if it has not hit home for you, Karen. But jeez,
no one's asking you to not.
You know where you cannot wear a mask at? In your own personal home.
Yeah.
On your porch. Heck, you can walk up and down the street because they say if you're outside, you should be okay. It's just when you're
around people.
It's just when you get around people in closed spaces. You can be around people outside, and you should be okay. But when you get around people in enclosed spaces and you are being an habitual space invader, you are making yourself more susceptible to catching something. If you want to catch it, that's fine, but I don't. Again, as a person that lost a very close relative to this, it's not a game. But
and we got one more.
Keep Karening.
And we got one more.
Hey, Mixcraft is in trial.
That's my fault. That's my fault. Wrong button. Here we go.
Not it, Sam.
I don't wear a mask for the same reason I don't wear underwear. Things gotta breathe.
Nasty too.
Okay. No one stop you from breathing.
My underwear are cotton, and my coochie does not have lungs, so she doesn't breathe.
Even if you don't
what
wear
you meant to say, you get your coochie get some air, but your coochie don't have lungs, so your coochie can't breathe.
Okay. If you don't want to wear drawers, that's one thing.
I mean, I'm not a fan of panties.
This has very little to do with COVID at this point.
That's the point.
Like, if you don't want to wear drawers, don't wear drawers.
It's very free.
But come on. I need to know what, like, when you politicize it and you make this a thing, you're talking about 5G, Bush, and Clinton. Come on now. All right, let's put it like this. I want to say this. Every doctor, I'll even go a little bit even further. Every surgeon I've ever met, and the first two Karens had work done. I don't care who you are, and it's your choice, and that's fine.
Yeah.
They had a mask when they did it. And the reason they had a mask when they did it is because they were performing a medical thing and they didn't want whatever the hell they got.
And I'm asking you a question. If your doctor, if our doctor, we have the same doctor, if she came into the room with gloves on already.
Yeah.
Because she had to touch the door to get into a room.
I get that.
Would you let her touch you?
Nah, just get, there's a box of gloves right there. Get another
pair. So PPE, personal protective equipment, is not only for your protection, but for the person that's dealing with you, that has to deal with you. You can't, if you are walking in, like what people fail to realize that the stores that you're crying about, you got to wear a mask in. These are privately owned companies.
Hold on. Let's just, before we jump into a bigger
No, I'm gonna get there quick. Let me get there quick. Your grocery store that you frequent or shop at, I don't know, I think Publix is down there, Kroger's everywhere. We got Kroger's up here. We have Meijer, Kroger, Walmart, Target. That's what we have in Michigan. These companies are privately owned companies. You can't go into Walmart and say, I can come into a public space, because Walmart's going to tell you, this is a privately owned company. You can be outside, that's the public, but this building is privately owned. So if the owner, the law of that land, which is that building, is asking you to mask up and you get an attitude, you can't get mad if you ask somebody to come. If somebody come to your house and you ask them to take their shoes off and they say no, you can't get mad at that. Does that make sense to you, Sam?
Yeah, but for right now, Karen's
all over the world.
Don't wear a mask.
I'm gonna wear mine. Period.
It's not a nationwide thing. Now, if you deny service, if you deny these things, that's just the rule of the land. But if you don't want to wear one, cool. We know who to avoid. But for right now, sit y'all ass down.